Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dokkan Battle video, and today we are taking on the new Gotenks burst mode here. And I wanted to show my 6,000 point clear, and I also did this using doing the androids mission. Now, I will show all of my settings at the end that I chose to get all the points here. But when you're looking at it, the main thing you're looking at is you're looking at a specific category. So they give you two category options at the beginning, and then you're looking at like different typing options. Well, when I was looking at androids, I'm like, all right, where are my boys, the Gammas at? And the Gammas, they did have an option for STR and AGL and Android. So I basically built this team around just letting the Gammas carry and bringing just the best other androids I could as filler. And what I found was yeah, the Gammas are good enough just to carry no matter what I got here. We do have STR-17. They are solid, right? But they're definitely not going to be like carrying the damage or anything. In this first form, I guess their main benefit is they do a lot of attacks, but they are very low. You know, mine are only hitting 2 to 3 mil, right? Like very low attack stats. It's 55%, right? But for a Dokkan Fest exclusive, that is very low. But the good thing is after they attack, they build up and they get dodge chance, so they can dodge out for you. And then once you get them transformed, then that transform Super 17 is very good. It just takes us time to get there, and then he's got to get hit 10 times. So it's unfortunate. It's just too slow of a building character, I feel like. The Gammas, on the other hand, they build up just fine, and they build up quick. So my goal here is to get a rotation with both Gammas. And then the other rotation to have another Gamma 2, because this is a double Gamma 2 team. Another Gamma 2 just linked up with whatever I think the best android is I have around to keep on rotation. It might just be a rotating area. But for now, I am keeping the STR-17 on rotation just because I want to get them transformed as soon as possible. And to get into the Super 17 and then to get him going. So I figure keeping them on rotation is probably smart, because they are very good once you can get them like kind of fully built up, right? Now I did even bring the AGL 17 because I figured he's got damage reduction. Like, you know, he needs to get hit a few times, but at least he's going to be good enough to not like instantly get me killed. So I would say he's a fairly good aging unit for being a 120 EZA. He's actually, I feel like he's aged the best out of all the 120 EZAs. Like, he's a character that I actually still feel okay using on a team. So shout out to AGL 17. He's pretty good. But here we started with the Gamma rotation, so very, very good here. When I do my settings, and like I said, we'll go through the settings at the end, but I really try to avoid giving them any damage reduction if possible. And just really maximizing out on where, you know, you have to give them some amount of attack and defense, but really maximizing out on like where you can get the most points without making the enemies too strong, right? And I'm someone that leans more towards giving the enemies more attack and less defense. Because my thought is if I can just bum rush them down really quick, then the defense won't matter. So that's kind of the way I built this up. And you see the Gammas are just plowing. like Gamma 2 is just like, yeah, I'm going to solo this phase of Gotenks. So as long as they don't have too much damage reduction, like, you can just one-turn some of these phases. And that's kind of what I did here with the Gammas. They definitely carried. If you're on Global and you've been regretting not having the Gammas, well, prepare for July. Because the anniversary banners will have the Gammas. You all need to get them. They're so freaking good. Not to mention the new units are also very good. They're extremely high-value banners that I would recommend all players summon on for sure. Those anniversary banners. And then obviously we've got Worldwide coming up in like August, September. That's going to be another really good spot to summon on. So kind of tight for Global. Two really hype celebrations almost back to back, right? We'll get one little banner in between with like a not hype unit. And then what for Global, is it going to be Turles in that slot? I think so. No, we're going to get Kale, which is unfortunate for me because I actually really want Kale. So yeah, we're going to have Anniversary. Then it's going to be Kale, and then it's going to be Worldwide. So tough times on Global at that point, so definitely be saving what you can now. Do not be summoning on that LR Boo. Even though the Boo's good, you definitely don't need him for World Tournament. There's way better options, especially if you got Piccolo Jr. And that Boo just doesn't really have a team. Like, there's no place you really want to use him right now. He's kind of a pointless pull. Now, sure, Worldwide could be like a Boo theme, right? And then all of a sudden you want him, but you can just pick him up with yellow coins then when he comes back and you're good to go. But his banner is not really worth summoning on, for sure. Alright, so here we go. We are on the final phase of Gotenks. Now, the way this Gotenks works, and I remember this back from when this Dokkan event originally dropped, he's kind of like the counterpart to the Boo, where they have this first phase, and they're meant to be basically unkillable. Well, modern units, you can actually peel, like if you're doing the normal Dokkan Fest, you can peel through this like the way it was unintended. You just kill them in this first phase. But in burst mode, this does work as intended, where this int phase is like super tanky and you just go a couple turns and then he de-transforms and then he's like way easier to kill. So that's kind of, you know, it's kind of fun going back to this fight and kind of playing it the way the devs intended, where this last phase is supposed to be really tough. So we're getting through, we're getting our AGL cell transformed. It's a bummer, but that AGL cell, man, he just can't tank. Even in final form, he just does not tank as well as I want him to. He aged like really hard. Luckily, he has an easy A in the future, but we're looking at least probably 2 years, maybe even 3 before he's going to easy A. He's still very recent. The Gammas, however, them boys are aging really well. They still feel just as good as when they first dropped. They are just red zone killers. Love me them Gammas. Between the Gammas and Orange Piccolo and like Bulma, man, those are some dominating units in the game right now. Looking very good. So Gamma 1, you can see here, we're going to have this int Gotenks about halfway dead before he de-transforms. So that's pretty good, considering how tanky this last phase is, right? And we don't really, this run ends up being very smooth. I don't really think we get into trouble here at all. We might take one hit for like a couple 100k or something, but we never really get that close to dying. And Gamma 2, I mean, when he's popping out like 3 to 5 10 mil attack stats, it's that he can burst down these bosses like crazily. Look at Gamma 2 just going crazy on this guy. All these 10 mil attack stats. Love me my Gamma 2 for sure. I've actually been tempted to like go back to Legends because they just got Legends limited Gammas. And I have to keep reminding myself every time I do that, every time I try to go back to Legends, I end up quitting the game after like a week and I just waste a lot of time like grinding characters and stuff because I don't like the gameplay of it. I don't like PvP. And everyone's least favorite part about Legends is PvE, and that's like the part I enjoy. Like I like PvE content. So Legends just, it's not the right game for me. So even though it's hype and I want to go in and get the anniversary characters, it's pointless because I'm just going to put the game back down and it ends up just being wasted time. So I'm just not going to do it. So here's our de-transformation. Now, Gotenks does have a couple of different forms he can do. We got fortunate that he went into the physical form because we've got STR characters on our team, so we've got type advantage. I did do a previous failed run where he de-transformed into the tech version, which gave us type disadvantage, and one of our AGL units got absolutely destroyed and we lost. So thankfully he went physical here, and we got him over halfway dead, and now I think Gamma 2's just like, yeah, I kind of want to just finish this. If Gamma 2 like critted on these supers, I think we would have this Gotenks done like immediately, but I think we might get him done on this turn either way. It just might not be Gamma 2 that finishes. Yeah, Gamma 2 though. Alright, so then we got androids here. Now they got type advantage. Once again, still only 3.5 mil attack stats. Just not very good. He does have a lot of attacks in him though, right? So there's 2, there's 3. So 3 attacks, but we only got 1 super. But the dodging coming through a little bit. And then here's AGL 17. Now, I think this is the one spot we get hit, because this guy hasn't really built up yet, and I think he's going to eat a super, like, immediately here, pretty much. I think we might get hit, like, 1 time, but we're still okay because he's got damage reduction. Yeah, so we get hit once, build a little bit, because getting hit, I believe, builds up his damage reduction, right? And his attack. But here, yeah, we take 200k right there, but we're totally good. Like, that's fine. We could eat that. And then Gamma 1 in slot 1 type advantage, like GG. Like, this is over. Gamma 1's not taking anything, even on a super here. So I know the game's over at this point. With 2 bars of health, there's no way this Gotenks is surviving both of these Gammas. So I know that we're 100% good here. And then we'll get it done. So we'll get to the victory screen so you guys can see my score. And then we'll just kind of go through all that, right? All right. So we'll let this go here. And Gamma 1, I believe Gamma 1 is the finisher here. Let's see how much damage here. Yeah, 6 mil. So there it is. Gotenks is gone. Burst mode complete. So I did manage to get the victory screen here so that we can kind of look at it. And then we'll go through all my categories, and I'll actually pause the video too when we get to that point. So there we go. And there it is, 6,000, whoops, 6,090 was our score. I did not mean for my video. Why did my video go away? Hold on. Let me get back in here. Go back to the end. I just was trying to pause it, and it was being... Oh, I know why I hit stop instead of pause. That was my bad. All right, let's go back to the end here. Get back to the victory screen. Here we go. Sorry, just clicked the wrong button there. All right, so here it is. So we got 6,090. So we did only androids, we did AGL and STR, and then we did do 400 or less team costs. So we got all that in there. A lot of points from that, right? We let the enemy negate sealing and stunning and attack and defense. So we basically let the enemies negate all debuffing because we don't really care about that, right? Now, if you're running a weaker team, then yeah, you're probably going to want stunning and sealing. But I think the last phase might negate those anyway, so you might as well put them on and get the points. All right, so we'll go down, and I'll show the next part here. I'll scroll down in a second. All right, and we'll pause right there. So then, obviously, we let the enemies reduce damage from tech because we're not running tech, so that's totally fine. We did give them the attack up of 150 and defense by 200 because that's for 600 points, so that's a really good one. We did do a 650 point attack up. We did do a big HP up. HP I don't really find as an issue. It's defense and damage reduction that's the issue. Because with the amount of damage like these units can put out, like you can peel through a lot of HP. But if they have too much defense, then you're just not doing damage, right? So that's why I put the focus on there. And then, yeah, this one, they can reduce anything below 100k to 0. That's totally fine. I always put that on. Because if you're not even doing 100k damage, it's not really going to do anything anyways. So that's a really easy one to put on. And then the no support items and no support memories is really good to put on. Because especially the no items. 1,100 points is a huge chunk. So there you go. That was all my requirements. We got all 6,000 points. Let me know how you handled this fight. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.